All right, boys.
Oh, live.
Yep.
Yep.
Let me pull up YouTube as well so we can have it.
We're live, Mileta. You're wasting time here.
No, we got tons of time. All right. All righty then. So welcome to yet another Trying Gravity YouTube live show, and this time we've got our first host, Alex Alanko. So welcome to the show, dude.
Thank you.
It's awesome to have you here. Right. So Trying Gravity. What is it about? It's a YouTube live show that Dennis from Gravity Escapades, his YouTube channel, and me, Mileta from HFODT, that we started. Basically, just to give people something to watch during this horrible Corona winter, get people stoked, and well, that's about it. Just we meet, we chat mountain bikes, we drink some beer, or in Dennis's case, whatever that is, vodka, Smirnoff, something. And we get guests. So Alex is our first guest, and today's topic is going to be all about the mental side of freestyle mountain biking. So we're going to dig deep into that and see where that gets us. All right, I'll hit that intro slide there. So just a quick reminder, the layout of the show is as follows. So we alternate between my channel and Dennis's. So this episode is going to be on my channel. Obviously, Dennis's channel is going to take the next episode. And that's about it. We meet, we chat mountain bikes, we get stoked.
Bro.
Nice.
All right. So shall we get into it? Right. We have a couple of these kind of standing topics that we discuss. So best training session in the last couple of weeks, since the last show. So Alex is our guest. Go for it. Tell us about your best training session in the last couple of weeks.
Okay, yeah. It was probably last year, and it was at the Dome. I learned a couple of tricks, and it was just one of those sessions where everyone did a lot of new tricks, and we pushed our limits on the riding. So I don't know what more to say. It's pretty it's all about progression riding in the Dome, which is an action sports facility in Gävle, Sweden, for those who don't know.
Dennis and I went there at some point, made a few videos out of that. And honestly, for the people who don't know what the Dome is, it's probably Europe's best freeride training facility. Come there, have fun. There's a foam pit and an airbag right next to it, and there's a flat drop as well. So if literally half the starting lineup for the F&B World Tour can come and train there, then it's good enough for the rest of us.
Yeah, for sure.
Dennis, what about you, dude?
I was out riding, I think it was like a week ago, with two English blokes, Ollie and his friend Rice. So we're kind of doing it British style, just hitting some corners over and over again in the wet with dirt going everywhere. Yeah, it was a good session. Fun stuff.
Yeah,
nice.
That's why the Brits are so good. Just continuous sessioning of corners.
And what about you, Mileta? What's your best?
Honestly, I've just been busy with everything else, so I haven't been riding too much. But trail ride a couple of days ago, when there was a first snow here, we went out and just sessioned random things, looking for spots to film at. And there was this little jump. It's only like, I don't know, maybe half a meter tall, and maybe a bike length wide, but it's nice because you need to pop quite a bit, and it's nice to try and nail whatever little tricks I can on a smaller jump, because I mean, doing it on one of these big jumps at the Dome or in Flotsburg, for example, you've got like 2 seconds of airtime. You can pretty much sip an espresso up there. But when you've only got like 40 centimeters of height, you need to get those hands off pretty quickly and get them back on. And it was wet. The run-in's kind of janky over roots and rocks and things. It was good. Some brown pants moments. But we managed to survive.
Nice.
It's good fun.
So what's the best video you've seen since the last show, Mileta?
Best video, dude. The NS Bikes Mafia edit with David Godziek.
Yeah.
Christ, like what is that dude on? Like, okay, so he jumps, he does a Superman seat grab, and then in the seat grab, he spins the bike around twice and lands. It's like
that the edit where they build a track on the grassy hillside, or
no. This is a bike release from NS Bikes. It's got like a story where the Mafia kidnaps him and then he has to ride his bike, and then he gets away from them. But
I've seen it.
Sickeningly good. It's like, how do you? I can't even like begin to imagine how you'd learn something like that.
What about you, Alex? What's the best video you've seen?
Actually, the one with David Godziek was really, really good. But I was thinking about the MACDUFF video from Title MTB, where he did a couple of world first. And it was super good. And I think it came out about like 1 week ago or something. Maybe 2 weeks, I don't know.
I think I missed both these videos.
No, you have to watch.
Yeah. I'll visit the show notes afterwards, because that's where you'll find them.
Dump him in there.
Yeah,
what
so
are
I think the best video I've seen is from the Dukes of Hazzard dudes, or Hazzard Racing dudes. They had some Scottish road trip going, so I kind of enjoyed that one. I think it's the third episode was the last one.
Oh,
I think it's on
rolling around in the dirt.
channel.
What?
Yeah, well, there's obviously some muddy corners involved, doing them over and over, and I mean they're quite funny, those dudes, so they get some funny stuff in between. So yeah, I enjoyed that video, and the Scottish, nature is something special, right?
Oh yeah. But I mean, lately there's been quite a few of these 2020 wrap-up videos of random people posting, a whole slew of whatever they found on their phone. Phil Atwell's mashup was awesome. That's another one of these things where it's like the best riding is like the one you do with your mates when you're just pissing about and just trying new stuff, and occasionally somebody captures something on a phone and it's just golden footage. So yeah, that really deserved to be shared with the world.
I have a lot of footage on my phone, though. That's not golden.
Yeah, that's
not automatically golden on your phone.
Because we're not very good, dude.
Could be something with that.
All right. Shall we move on to Alex? How about you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, your career, and so on.
Okay, my name is Alex Alanko, and I'm a 25-year-old professional mountain bike rider, or freestyle mountain bike rider. And I have been riding for over 10 years now, and I'm usually traveling around the world and competing in the FMB World Tour. That's it, kind of.
Is there a difference between being a freestyle mountain bike rider and a slopestyle mountain bike rider?
Yeah, it's basically the same thing. I don't know why people are calling it different. I would say like slopestyle rider, then you ride all the big obstacles or the slopestyle courses. Otherwise, but like a freestyle mountain bike rider can ride like slopestyle and also dirt jumps and maybe skate parks and stuff like that's. I don't know if there is any like written difference, but I don't know why we call them different.
Okay.
More than that.
I think there's almost a trend in mountain biking as a whole to just pigeonhole things into their own little categories. And I don't know if it's, so you can sell like a freestyle bike and a free ride bike and a, whatever different kind of bike. But I don't know.
Could be.
I ride bikes.
Yeah.
All bikes.
I guess you could ride everything on one bike, but it makes it's hard to do tricks on an enduro bike, or it's way easier to do it on a dirt jump bike and have better pump and air control. It's kind of the same.
So for how long have you been hitting the big jumps?
Oh, the big jumps from maybe 2011 was the first time I got some real air time. But before that, I just rode all the smaller stuff. But it takes some time to get the air awareness you want, so you feel comfortable in the air. And the thing is to be calm, and I think you need to build up that confidence by just training a while.
Going back to the discussion we had about the dome, it's like every time I go back to dirt jumps after the dome, they don't look like much because the dome jumps are pretty big, and you get your couple of seconds of air time. So it makes sense. Just ramp it up.
Yeah.
And you're also very active on YouTube, aren't you?
Yeah, kind of. Now the last weeks I haven't been that active, but usually, or last year I had the goal to post 2 videos a week, and I hold that for pretty long time. But then now I have not been too motivated to just pump out videos. But I have want to do more quality stuff, or at least work my way up there. So maybe some more storytelling and maybe a bit more production. Maybe one video each week, or maybe each other week or something. Just to improve my own editing and storytelling skills.
So is that something you do, mostly for fun, or do you see it as an important part of your job?
I both. I think I don't know if I could do it if I didn't have fun doing it, because you need to do it a lot to improve. But it's a win-win. It's good, good for the mountain bike career, and then also it's a lot of fun, and you get to progress. I'm telling my friends that it feels like I'm learning to ride a bike again, just to learn to cut the videos and to film and to talk with the camera. It's start to ride when you're a beginner, kind of but in a different category. So it's so super fun.
Well, what I've noticed is it's also different, when you ride to ride and then when you ride to film. It's just a completely different feeling. I mean, do you also feel that, or how do you experience that?
Yeah, obviously it's different, because when you ride, often I do training sessions where I practice certain tricks and stuff. But then when I film, it's more about the story in the small video, kind of. Or that's what I'm aiming for, to start to learn the storytelling. And then you need to maybe get in some crashes or some fun moments, or so that's you're aiming for a different kind of session when you film.
All right. So what do you guys think? Should we move into our main topic?
Do it.
Sure.
All right. So the metal style of freestyle mountain biking. Right. So I've been noticing that this is an issue for a lot of people. It's the older you get, the more scared you are of things. But I mean, as long as you kind of have a system, a method to whatever madness we're doing, then things tend to get easier. And it's very interesting to see how other people treat this fear, this anxiety, even at times when you come up to a feature and are going to hit it for the first time. So that's what we're thinking about talking about today. So Alex, right off the bat, first question: what tricks or what features really scare you, and why?
At the moment, Superman seat grabs are a bit scary for me. but I think I haven't been practicing them, and they feel scary to do because you have your bike like in front of you and you hold it. I really don't know why, because I haven't really gotten into the mental side of that trick. I feel like I have been scared for a lot of tricks, but then you work your way up to learn them kind of step by step. But I haven't done that with just Supermans, so that's why. But then I had the same thing with wall rides before. Like I couldn't do a wall ride. I could do like 360 tail whips and 720s, but I couldn't do wall rides. Like I was just like a mental block. But then I like slowly started to do them, and now it's like it's an easy trick, but it can be still like mentally weird.
So I listened to this podcast today where you talked about. I mean, I guess everyone thinks of slopestyle bikers as daredevils.
Yeah.
But you actually talk about yourself as being more of a chicken than a daredevil.
Yeah.
Is that something you'd say, or talk about that? Why are you a chicken, not a daredevil?
Because like in the beginning when you start riding, I had that mindset as well, that I was like, okay, I need to send it here. But in the long run, it's super bad to do that, because when you crash and injure yourself, then you can't continue riding, and then you just become the daredevil kind of. So it's way better to step things up and like know that you're scared of something, and like maybe I'm not ready for this, and like think it through. But that's the difference. It's hard to know the difference between like when you chicken out or when you are afraid and should not do it. Okay? Like that's one thing you need to learn. But otherwise, like I feel it's better to be a bit scared and work yourself up to the point you wanna be at, kind of. If that makes sense.
Do you feel that you're more afraid of stuff than the other slopestyle riders you compete against, or is it more like everyone thinks they're daredevils, but they're all just really scared in real life? Or
I would say people are a bit more scared than it seems like, because like when you do a slopestyle run, then you have been preparing for maybe a week for that run, and before that maybe like a month for the tricks you're gonna do in your run. So you have been preparing a lot, and of course there are some different kind of riders who are like sending it more. But if you look at the best ones, or like I would say the ones with the most success and control, they are really working there's like themselves up there, and they maybe are a bit. I don't know. It's so hard to say like if they're scared or not, but I think it's a good thing to know the scary things, like, and decide like if, as I told before, like if you're ready for them and stuff. But and I don't know if I'm more scared or the other riders, but I think everyone is scared for some kind of tricks or something in their riding.
Also, I think that that fear kind of produces a certain amount of respect for whatever you're trying to do. And when you respect it, you tend to analyze it more and hopefully break it down into easier, palatable chunks so that you can perform whatever trick or do whatever feature you're doing. Just easier.
That's true.
All right. So right, when you mentioned that you had a few like proper training sessions where you're just training for certain tricks, but if we dig down into this, so when you train, do you train to train, or do you train to, or do you ride to train, or do you train to ride, basically? So do you go out and ride your bike specifically to train, or do you go out and just have fun and then things come from that? Do you focus on having a set kind of number of tricks that you need to do, or are you more laid back?
I would say it depends on if I have a competition ahead or not. Like, for example, now when Corona is, I go to the sessions more with an open mind to learn and just progress my bike control, and used to learn new stuff, like try stuff in the foam pit. And I don't care about my like banger tricks that much, because I just want to improve as a rider. And before a contest, it's different, because I want to make sure that I can do my trick like 10 out of 10. And then I do them in a row, like on the airbag or wherever I am. So yeah, that's the difference. But sometimes you get too much into the routine of just doing your tricks over and over again. So I think it's good to always have the open mindset of like, this is fun. This should be something like I like to do.
So that's another interesting point there. So right, when can you compare the outcome of the two ways of doing it? So can you say that, okay, so if I'm more relaxed, if a more laid back approach to things, does that training session feel better, or does the focus training session feel better, or what results do they produce if you kind of compare them?
I think it's super hard to compare them, but I don't think you can do one of them too much. You need to have a balance, maybe like 50-50, because if you do one of like 1 year with only like pushing for or doing your trick list over and over again, then you're going to get unmotivated, and then your trick list will be way harder to do. You need to like have the play and the progression, or you need to have a good balance, I would say.
No, that makes sense. That's a pretty interesting point for us laymen.
So when you go to a competition like the Whistler one or whatever, do you have a planned run already going there? Because they kind of rebuild the tracks a bit every year, right? But you still kind of know what you want to do coming there, or do you come up with what you want to do at site? Or
actually, when we get the sketch of the course, we usually get it like when we get the invite, so you get to see all the obstacles, and then already like the first time you see the course, you start to plan the run. Like maybe I can do that trick there and that trick there, and yeah, so on. And then you try to look at the like when the builders are posting pictures on Instagram and stuff, and try to like visualize how it would feel like and how it would look and stuff. Because it's so hard when you get there. It can be different what you imagine it to be, and so you need to have options. And yeah, I don't know. It's important to have a plan, but it's important not to be too stuck to that plan, kind of.
Do you have like a week to train on site, or?
Usually a week, like more or less. Sometimes the weather is bad, and then we only get a couple of days, and that's when it's really hard for the up and coming riders that haven't been riding those big jumps before. Like you don't get to practice a lot.
No, some of those things are huge.
Yeah.
But that leads us into another question. So when a run doesn't really go according to plan, I assume you have kind of a set number of tricks you do down the course. Do you have a set backup number of tricks for each feature, or do you just kind of wing it? I mean, I have the speed for this, but maybe not for that. Let's throw this in the mix. Or I mean, how does that thought process go? I'm thinking specifically last Crankworks, for example.
Yeah. No, maybe it would be good to have a backup, but I'm trying to not to have that, because I want to like take all my focus onto one run. But yeah, then if like you case on a jump and don't have speed, you try like to think really fast of the tricks you can do with low speed. And then yeah, it's just intuitively, how do you say it? Intuitively, yeah, you feel it, like what you want to do. And yeah, that's how I do it. I don't know if the other riders have some backup plan, but I don't think so with those I have talked. But yeah.
No, it's just amazing to this, like when I watch Crankworks or something, it's fun to see you guys kind of like think quick on your feet. It's like, okay, I cased this by about 5-10 centimeters, and now I don't have the speed for something. And okay, it's like 10 centimeters in every other walk of life. It's like, yeah, all right, yeah. I'll just go do another run. But yeah, you're trying to salvage an entire run. You got to get that whole top to bottom thing, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so you get to one of these Crankworks style events. The jumps are huge.
Are the jumps so huge that you're kind of scared of them not doing tricks, or do you feel like, oh, it's super cool just riding this course, not having to do tricks, or are the things that so big that you're kind of scared of just hitting them straight? Or
Yeah, like last year in Whistler, it was my first year, and they build their jumps kind of steep, and the dirt is kind of rocky there, like a lot of small rocks. So I was a bit scared to ride the course at first, and especially like the big drop. I have never ever like seen such a big drop before in my life, so I was a bit scared. And then when you start to ride it, you just know that, okay, I need to do tricks on these jumps in the end of this week. Like, it's no way that I'm gonna straight jump it. So you need to like get yourself mentally prepared. And then actually sometimes when you start doing tricks, then everything else becomes easier. Like, you get to know the course better. And I think you just need to be outside of your comfort zone and be ready for that the whole contest week, kind of.
So walk us through the mental side of this. So what is your thought process, right? We don't have jumps like that in Sweden. The biggest thing is, what was that compound where you prepared for Audi 9s?
Yeah.
That's the biggest jumps we have. Maybe that drop in Flottspiel, but that's still tiny compared to all the crankwork stuff, for example. So you haven't ridden things like that in a really long while, and now you have to ride it. Walk us through that mental space. Yeah, and trick it.
Yeah. Like, in the beginning, you learn to adapt to the big jumps at the contests, and I don't know, it's different nowadays because, as you said, we have the compound in Falun, Skälviken, where Emil and Lucas and some other guys train. So those jumps are actually pretty big, and you can kind of prepare for the same kind of airtime. And but when you're coming to a contest course, you try to just break everything down into like, okay, where do I need to put my time on, like, which part of the course? Because the jumps are usually the easy stuff because you can kind of prepare at home for them. But then when it comes to the big flat drops or the big bony lodge or like the other kind of obstacles, that's the weird thing where you need to like, okay, I need to try this trick for the first time on this course here, without knowing how it can really go, kind of. Or but you somewhere you have the confidence in you that you can, like, you feel if it's gonna go wrong, or like you have a lot of experience still. But it's different. So at some contests there is some obstacles where I haven't tricked until the contest, kind of like the last two runs for the practice. I'm just like, okay, I need to flip this long and low now, or I need to do this trick here. Or, so it's different at every event. But yeah, I think everyone has their own kind of mental like process during it.
All right. So do you ever, like, when you approach a bigger obstacle, do you ever like just go, this is too big, or this is not for me at the moment? I mean, do you ever like just pussy out of it and then not ride it? Or, I mean, how is there a kind of headspace where you're like, this is too big?
I would say no on the hardtail bike or the dirt jump bike. If I know the speed and see someone else jump it, I know I can do it, because usually if you are calm and have the right speed, it's usually super easy to jump all the big jumps. But on the downhill bike or like other free ride kind of setups, I don't have too much confidence because I haven't ridden that too much. So there I would be more skeptic, or like look more on the speed and maybe think more before, and maybe like, okay, I do this tomorrow, or no, I need to practice more. So it depends.
That's okay. It makes sense from the aspect that you're basically, well, riding your dirt jump bike as often as you can. But then it's like, dirt jump bikes are so incredibly unforgiving.
Yeah.
It's like this tiny little case, and you break your hands or something. It just hurts. And you guys run some ridiculous PSIs in your fork, so it's basically just a solid fork.
Yeah, it is.
Last time I was at the Dome, I brought both my dirt jumper and my enduro bike, and it's literally the other way around. It's like, I'm used to riding the enduro bike. I can trick the enduro bike. The dirt jump, I could barely make it over like the little pump track thing in the Dome. It's good fun to switch it up from time to time, definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so we've done features. How do you approach learning a new trick? So I mean, do you kind of discuss it with your riding buddies? Do you just describe your thought process? Do you watch YouTube videos and like, oh, he did it like that? And how do you do that?
Yeah, obviously, first you need some inspiration to, like, oh, I want to learn that trick. You see it somewhere, and then if you know someone who can do that trick, you ask for the, like, how should you think? Like, should you lean in, or should you like look to your back wheel, or like that kind of thing? And then we have the, like, obviously big foam pit at the dome, so you can just kind of feel it out there. And some more technical stuff, I usually go to the tramp bike and try to like learn all the muscle memory, or maybe even lay on my back with my bike and just do like tricks. Different than depending.
The whole laying on your back approach it looks ridiculous, but it actually works.
Yeah,
it's funny when you like go to the dome and you see people.
I never tried that. I gotta try that, I guess.
You should. It's fun.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially when somebody GoPros it.
Yeah.
We need to have that in one of your next videos, dude.
Yeah, we'll see. And by the way, you guys hanging out, if you guys have any questions to Alex, just shoot them in the comments and we'll get to them either directly or later on.
James Moorish, he was asking what was the name of that action sports facility. The Dome Adrenaline Zone, it's in Gävle, Sweden. It's what is it, 120 kilometers north of Stockholm? Takes an hour and something to get there. Very, very nice place. It's weird, right? For somebody who's not a pro mountain biker, rocking up there and seeing, well, all of you pro guys over there at the same start ramp.
Yeah.
Now, what is amazing about, or what I think is amazing about the sport is how, I mean, we all train on the same stuff, just somebody goes a lot bigger. Yeah. But it's not weird to, go out and, oh, there's this pro at that bike park. I mean, it's not like you meet, Ronaldo just playing football at your local football pitch. It's just a lot more approachable for some reason. It's a smaller sport as well, but yeah.
So Ruben just dropped a comment. He wondered when did you get sponsored?
Oh yeah.
So my first sponsor was 2000. I think it was 2012, and I got like some free bike parts.
Free bike parts.
Some free bike parts. No, just some free bike parts. And since then, just some smaller like contracts with like clothing and those kind of stuff. And actually, last year I signed with POC, which is one of my first bigger contracts, and then Cachet bikes I got now, and then Michelin last year as well. So that's cool.
Awesome, dude.
Is that enough to support you to make a living, or?
I can go to all my events without have to worry about money. But then also with the prize money, if it goes well, then I could live with it for sure. But I'm not like I'm rich or anything. But I could like do what I love to do every day, kind of. But still, during the summer, like I usually, if there's a normal season, I travel a lot, and then right now I bought a van actually this summer, so I'm gonna live in that. So I'm gonna go travel and like sleep in that, and it's gonna be super cheap for me, so I can like save a lot of money and just don't worry about it and just have fun and progressing on my bike.
Cool.
I'm looking forward to the van build videos on your YouTube channel. Definitely. I have this morbid idea that maybe I should get a van as well.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
where to park it,
You should start to build it in the spring though, because I started in the autumn and it was just too cold and too didn't go well.
I need to pass that idea by my wife first.
Yeah, Mileta, that life is beyond you, I think.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe in 20 years you can build a van.
We'll see how that goes, dude. All right. Right. So how about injuries? Like, obviously there's a chance that you get injured doing a new feature or whatever, even like riding the stuff that you usually ride. So how do you handle that kind of fear, I'd say? I mean, it's always like in the back of your head, I suppose, but do you just kind of think positive, visualize it, I'll stomp this and it goes well, or do you have a different process?
Firstly, I try to prepare really good, like warm up before every session and get my blood flowing before doing any tricks. Like, I think it's really important. And also it saves all your ligaments and the small stuff you have. Then everything I feel like is about the mindset of like when you're doing the tricks, you need to feel like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and like no, you can't have like random thoughts in your head. You need to be focused and you need to be there. And I think that comes from the right kind of motivation, because I have been like not too focused because I haven't been too like I didn't have too much fun on my bike. Some like a couple of sessions, and then you get more scared and think more negatively, like just in your head, kind of. So I think if you have the right mental preparation and the right like warm up, you can minimize the risk of injuries, and that's my approach to it. And I think that's what's like working the best. But still, it could happen anytime, and that's just a thought you need to live with, kind of.
Which leads us into another question there. So, do you do anything to calm your nerves, like either when you're training or when you're doing contest runs? Like, do you do some kind of meditation or yoga? Do you listen to music? I know there's been a lot of interviews with downhill riders who are like, yeah, I sing a song to myself while I'm doing my World Cup run. Do you talk to? I find that I talk to myself quite often when I'm riding a bike for some reason, like hit that like that.
Because you're doing YouTube, Mileta. It's not the same.
That is also because I do YouTube, but I do it even when the GoPro is not rolling. Yeah, I mean, what's your procedure for that?
You mean just before contest or like everyday riding?
Both basically. So, is there a difference? I mean, walk us through what you do for contests and what you do for like everyday riding.
Not really. Like the goal for me is to ride like I ride at contests every day. Like that's my new mindset. So I try to prepare every day with. I do yoga every morning for like 10 minutes just to get the blood flowing and get like just to fill out my body pretty much. And then before riding, I think that the warm up is kind of like a ritual for me to also prepare my mindset for like, okay, now it's time to ride. And my body feels it, like when I do those certain kind of movements, it knows that, okay, soon you're gonna send it. And then then when you start riding, also like you start in a certain way and you want to get to the right kind of mindset, as I talked to before. And it can also be really easy with some music, like you put on some good music and because you want to get the feeling of progression and like that's what I'm aiming for in all my sessions.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, I've realized that yoga isn't exactly something that a lot of at least middle-aged men do. I've kind of been drawn into it by a few of my buddies, and it's like now I don't ride downhill without a little bit of yoga in the morning. It helps so much. It's ridiculous. I mean, not for the meditation aspect. I never really understood that, but the limbering up aspect of it. I think everybody should do it. Seriously, it's so good for mountain bikers. And also like the meditation, I feel like I have actually
well, like when I started competing 2013, I rode really bad at the competitions. Like I didn't get any results, and I had some mental issues, kind of. So since then I have been meeting with a mental trainer. That's she's an old gymnast, and she's really good at the mental aspects. And she learned teach me meditations and some kind of different kind of techniques. So I use those like now and then to get back into the mental game. But sometimes you forget about it. But yeah, the goal is to always know how to get yourself into the right state, kind of.
There's a lot of athletes these days who, I mean, across all kinds of sports who are using mental coaches.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you guys are obviously improving since you're pumping out banger edits every 5 minutes. So, must be doing something good.
It's almost like the brain is important.
Yeah, it is.
So we have another viewer question. Did you go to bicycle college? I guess it is.
No, if you mean the following one, I didn't. When I was going to gymnasium, there wasn't really it wasn't that big. I think there was a couple of riders who went there, and they only had like a small mulch jump. And we started to build the Fyrhuset bike park at home, so I had almost a better facility at home, and also the association there was really good. So I decided to stay at home and just ride there.
Are there other famous riders coming from, or growing up in Fyrhuset Bike Park, the same as were you growing up?
I don't know if they have been growing up there, but there's like
usually coming there. The people you train with there.
If you know, like Victor Duhan and Elof Lind, those are the ones who come there regularly and have been building there. But then sometimes like Max is coming to ride, and Theo, and Martin has been there a couple of times. So
that's Martin Söderström and Max.
Max Fredriksson and
Gavalik.
Awesome riders, both of them. I've been to Fyrhuset at some point with a buddy of mine, and you've done wonders with that place. Really, it's looking good. But tell the audience about it and just talk a little bit about Fyrhuset Bike Park.
Okay, it's from the beginning. It's actually a youth association. Like the Fyrhuset, the house there is a place where youth can go and come up with ideas, and we try to help them to. I actually work there a bit as well, so that's why I'm telling. Like but we're trying to get the ideas to reality. And when I was 14 years old, we put in an ad in the newspaper, or not an ad, an article someone wrote about like us not having a bike park, and then the crew at Fyrhuset picked it up and like contacted us, and since then we have been building there like step by step, and everything is decided by the youth or the younger persons there. So we have been. Me and my friends who started were the ones to decide everything in the bike park, and the Fyrhuset Association helped us with the founding, and that's how it started. Kind of
cool.
That's kind of cool. I think letting the younger generation who are anyway going to take over the place and push the sport forward decide that. No, you guys have built some really, really cool stuff. I still didn't ride both the bigger lines. I need to do that at some point.
You should come now again, because we have built plateau jumps behind the house there. I remember when you were there, we were kind of building, but now it's a lot more like beginner stuff there to ride.
Tell you what, so I could probably do the middle line on my enduro bike, but that is, I came there to finish off a video of when I got that dirt jumper, and that's the first dirt jumper I've ever ridden, like the first dirt jumper I've ever sat on, and I still feel totally scared when I sit on it. It's like this thing's trying to kill me. So I'm not used to where my weight should be on it. It's too small a wheelbase for me. I don't ride it enough, and I felt super chicken on that bike. But no, you guys have built some really fun stuff there. All right, so we talked in the prequel to this show. We talked offline about your Freeride camps. Why don't you walk us through that? Well, what do you do there? I mean, we'll talk a little bit about them.
Yeah, so I have been a camp leader at some different kind of camps. Firstly, at the Dome, we had a couple last year, and we try to take every rider who gets there from their own level to a higher level. And obviously, it's hard when you do, like, you can't do bike classes because everyone is doing different kind of tricks. But we usually try to make like overall kind of lessons where, like, okay, if you want to get better at pumping, you can ride with me, and if you want to get better at tricks, go ride with Victor or Elof and whoever is there. So that's basically how we do it, and then have like small competitions to push the riders a bit extra on different kind of like contests, like long jump, high jump, or whatever. And then we had a couple at Fyrhuset, which was basically the same kind of structure. And yeah, just a lot of fun. Like the atmosphere is so good because all the riders who gets there want to progress, and all the people love bikes. So yeah, it just becomes a lot of fun just hanging out with everyone. Just like basically a nice couple of riding days.
Now, having a crew to ride with, even if it's like people you just met, is awesome. And I mean, usually the people you get there are younger people, so like teens, kids. I have a friend who's roughly my age who went to one of your camps. So don't be discouraged by the fact that you're riding with kids. These kids can send 20 times better than most middle-aged men can. See, I was gonna exactly. You're like, what have I been doing with my life? Well, I didn't know how to start this point when I was 10 years old. No, but I was going to go for one of those camps at some point at the Dome. I have a few tricks I need to try to dial in because I haven't been able to do them on my own. At some point, it'll be done.
Yeah, we'll get there for sure.
Like, it's horrible. But yeah, that's gonna be awesome. All right, we're basically nearing the end of this little show. I'm just gonna put up another banner here.
Yeah, if you guys have any final questions, make sure to shoot them in the comments now, or you'll miss out. Might be your last chance to ask Alex something in your life.
You're gonna have to come to his camps to drop a few questions then.
Yeah.
You might have to pay for it the next time. So maybe we should talk about what's going on in our channels and see if there any more questions pops up as we do it.
Actually, before that, I've got a question for Alex. So we've seen you on your DH bike for the Audi 9 submission. You rode a DH bike in Järvsö. Are you going to dabble in more like events that require DH bikes? I mean, what's your relationship with riding stuff other than a dirt jumper at like places that got ramps and stuff?
I think it's really fun. Firstly, like I haven't been spending too much time on DH bike or enduro bikes before this or the last year, but I want to do it more, and I'm gonna hopefully get a new downhill bike soon, and then just learn it like slowly but surely, like dial it in and start to ride faster, ride bigger jumps, do more tricks, and just improve like slowly but surely on it.
This is a fun thing because, right, I mean, you're obviously a very, very good bike handler, but then moving that to a different type of bike is just a whole different beast.
Yeah,
that's interesting because, I mean, the sport is you're never perfect. There's no way you can be like extremely good at every discipline. It's so multifaceted that there's always kind of space to learn and improve. which is also why I really, really love it.
Yeah.
All right. Any more your questions?
Nothing in the comments right now. So what's
All
going to
right.
happen on your YouTube channel the next weeks, or the next thing you're put out, Alex?
So as I said, I want to like making better videos with more storytelling. So actually, I have been editing for almost 2 weeks now, like a lot, to make a recap video of the previous year, and I try to make it like more storytelling. So I talk about a bit like our chef here, like I talk about how the season has been going and why it went how it went, kind of reflecting on it, and also just being grateful for everything I got to experience during this weird year. So yeah, I'm super excited to put that one out, and yeah, hopefully do more projects like that in the future.
Cool. When do you think you'll drop it?
I don't know if I get to edit some tonight, maybe tomorrow evening, but no promise that tomorrow or the next day.
All right.
Awesome. We'll drop the links to Alex's YouTube and Instagram in the description.
Perfect.
All right. Oh, me. All right. So I have several projects open at the same time. I'm completely ADHD when it comes to editing. I'm doing a 2020 recap video because it's been a weird year.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I got to change bike as well. People should really start, watching the road while they're driving, so they don't crash into the back of my car when I've got freaking bikes on it.
Got your new bike?
Yeah, I got my new bike, and obviously the project number 2. So since I got a Santa Cruz, I had to get my daughter a Santa Cruz, but I'll save it for the video. No, so this is a used Strider bikes, little tiny 11-inch or whatever it is, 10-inch bike that I repainted with custom decals to match my Santa Cruz Nomad. So that's what my daughter's getting for Christmas. I'm Orthodox, so I celebrate both Christmases. I celebrate Christmas tomorrow. It's more fun that way. So she's getting that bike for Christmas. She's 14 months today. So yeah, so far she's kind of understood the whole walking concept of a balanced bike. She can't ride it yet. I need to hold her, but we'll get there. So there's a video about that coming up.
Nice. Cool.
So my next drop, or actually uploaded a video today about building a new trail, but it's scheduled for, I scheduled it for Sunday, I think. So Sunday afternoon, there'll be a new trail building video.
Nice.
I need to ride that at some point, but I'm waiting for it to freeze over so that I won't ruin your work.
Where are you building?
It's actually on Värmdö. I have a summer house in Värmdö. So it's not the one you're talking about, Mileta.
Oh, okay.
But I'm on. Yeah, it's kind of far. It's very close to Stalsnäs, actually, Fyrhuset, but it's the sea in between. So it's by Bullandö, sort of.
Ah, okay. Oh, nice. I know.
Close, very far away. Yeah.
Cool.
So building. I have like a small bike park behind my house. A bike park behind my house.
Nice. That's cool.
I'm building on my third trail, so. Yeah, you saw the big jump in it this summer, Mileta, when I was working on it. So that's the trail I'm working on, and about to drop one video Sunday, and there's another video coming like 2 weeks later or so.
Awesome. Nice. I think we should also mention that Dennis does these invitational and behind his house. This year was a social media invitational enduro. So a few of us active on Instagram, basically, and YouTube, went there and played around, and Dennis showed us a whole bunch of new, really, really nice trails. There's a video on his channel about that, so check that out. And that's some good terrain, definitely good terrain.
Who knows? Maybe Alex, maybe you'll get an invite next year.
Oh yeah, hopefully.
You gotta start riding enduro, dude.
Yeah, I need to. Yeah, I want to.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, so just a huge thank you to you, Alex, for joining us. It's been awesome to get a chance to pick your brain and learn a bit of like how a pro mountain biker handles the stress of mountain biking, of competition, of the fear that comes with riding bikes.
Super interesting to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for letting me be here. It was a lot of fun, actually. Like, I like to talk about this kind of stuff. So anytime.
You like to talk about bikes?
Yeah, kind of obvious, right?
Yeah. Nah, dude, it's been a pleasure.
Before we go, just let me mention that the next episode will be on my channel. So if you're not on my channel already, make sure to hop over to my channel and subscribe there. I guess you'll post the link in the description, Mileta.
Yep, I'll put in the description.
And the goal is to have a guest next episode also, which I think we'll probably have a guest each episode from now on. But we haven't decided who yet, so we'll see.
Cool.
All right. That's a wrap. So like we said, check out the description for everybody's social links. Feel free to subscribe to Alex's and Dennis's channel, as well as mine. And we'll see you next show, I suppose.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.
See you guys.
All right. See you guys. Signing off.